an introduction to our restoration strategy for family and life services, an overview of the plan. The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members. Gandhi. Here's our plan for children and youth services. Our Family and Life Services Restoration Plan includes restructuring, renovation, removal, and renewal to the current social service structure by removing programs and incentives that encourage poverty, loneliness, insecurity, and separation of family, and replacing them with more life-supporting programs. Reframing child protective services, youth protection and employment, family and welfare services, abused people support, senior care services, special needs, unemployment, and affordable housing services. We'd like to start by overhauling child protective services, changing policies and procedures currently in place, moving to a family-based temporary foster care only in case of direct child endangerment. Otherwise, focus on helping transform and heal in the home, focused on working with the whole family to improve the situation. Lose the institutional setup. Move child services to renovated private homes. All services connected will be represented in each location, like peacekeepers or security, health and wellness assessment for triage purposes only, child care specialists for physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, extra immediate care and support for any child who was abused, a box full of toys, safety rooms, support group coordinators, all under one roof, so that it feels more like a visit to an auntie's house instead of CPS. Making sure we have extra clothes, backpacks, suitcases, basic essentials, all ready to hand out if needed. New standard operating procedures will include compassion, communication, consideration, and cooperation. The new goal for Child and Family Services will be to support struggling families on all levels with intensive programs designed to free them from the system permanently, supporting families where they need the most help until they don't need our help anymore. This will include marriage counseling, parenting courses, nursing, at-home care support, autism and care support, light housekeeping, daycare and babysitting, paid date nights, food prep, transport to school, doctors, self-awareness and improvement programs, stress reduction, focusing on keeping the family together, not tearing it apart, and keeping it apart. This counseling and support could include extended family and friends. We would like to redirect the foster care program to focus on family and friend support first, keeping kids with people they already know and love, while entire family gets help directed towards reunion with family for children who need to be removed from the home for their safety, with temporary separation as the main goal. Backpack and suitcase programs, a new suitcase for any child, teen, or person fleeing domestic violence or abuse situations or home insecurity. These backpacks or suitcases will be loaded with basic essentials, socks, clothes, hygiene products, including backpack programs for school items and essential living items for homeless or those in transit between homes. Build super secure tiny home communities for people fleeing family abuse or domestic violence. Have peace officers living in the building to ensure 24-hour security, offering a personal private sanctuary with some temporary and other permanent places to live. Dedicate funding and incentives to tiny home communities, focusing on affordability and safety. Set up training and co-op programs for those who love to build stuff. Create tiny community programs and incentives to bring tiny home communities to the areas people want to live. This can include retraining and cooperative efforts for all skill sets, abilities, talents, and interests. Support for single moms and dads, including childcare, parenting programs, parenting clubs, as well as grief counseling, financial counseling, and family-oriented community programs. Increase support and funding for teen programs, including retraining, refocus, treatment programs, peer counseling, service clubs, community-oriented activities, weekly community dances, getaway and wilderness training, leadership and entrepreneurship training, teen pregnancy support, parenting programs, and independent incentives. One of our ideas is the Teen Mall Initiative Project. Malls are wasted real estate after the store closes. Many teens in foster care programs have no support or resources after their 18th birthday. Our proposal offers semi-independent living with focus on retail projects and usable skills. Find old, rundown, or closed malls, renovate for sustainable community living for teens and young adults. Create living quarters in rear of each store, with storefronts selling products chosen or made by the teen or young adult. Provide community parents to live in 24-hour care if needed, targeting teens in child and family care, runaway teens, or foster kids. Have the teens form their own mall security, their own council, and use the PA system for their radio station, with community cooking and eating provided by the food court. We'd like to see more funding and support for all special needs activities and programs. We'd like to provide incentive programs for opening pass-it-on stores for kids. All products received by donation, all items under $5, with the proceeds going to community programs like dances, block parties, or being divided amongst the single parents in the community. Our society needs people who take care of the elderly, who know how to be compassionate and honest. Society needs all kinds of people with all kinds of skills, not just smarts, for humans have emotional needs requiring emotional connection, most of all. Here's our plan for seniors. We'd like to increase funding for home renovations to move elderly relatives into family homes, create greater funding and support for all at-home care, wisdom sharing clubs, multi-generational history, and talent clubs, including creating more companionship programs for dancing, travel, at-home, exercise, dinner parties, theaters, museums, tourism, nights out for seniors, and movies. We'd like to improve senior care by including more personal care programs like Adopt a Grandparent or Grandkid program, greater funding for all community centers running senior programs, fund a minibus project to offer free transport to all appointments, including doctors, dentists, etc. Companionship support programs for families with seniors include home companions, overnight care, security care, transportation, entertainment, light housekeeping, food prep, and dining companions. We'd like to start a teen to senior technology training, pairing teens in the know with seniors in the need for technology support and app understanding. We'd like to start some landscaping and handyman programs for seniors and those unable to maintain their property. Greater support for grieving families, including counseling, healing, and emotional support. Incentives for all communities participating in community snow shoveling programs. Incentives for community car guy, plumbing guy, and electrician guy clubs, connecting retired professionals in auto and home repair enthusiasts together with people in need of dependable services. Great for all ages with no knowledge or experience in these areas. Our plan for restoration of Indigenous communities and services is to double all financial support currently budgeted for, with the focus on improving standards of living while working towards eliminating overcrowded homes. With greater funding for Indigenous sports, arts, dance, and Indigenous people. More to come on this front. Our plan for cultural awareness, arts, and celebration, enhancing enjoyment of life. Increase funding for all art programs, including visual arts, painting, sculpture, photography, digital art, dance, and music. Offer incentives for community music festivals, local talent nights, artist breakfasts, and retreat programs, funding for all community art galleries and theaters. Hold a contest to see who throws the best block party and offer incentives for community block parties, community dances, and festivals, bragging rights included. More funding for creative interactive museums and libraries, Tales for Tots programs, Mommy, Daddy, and Me, teen mystery, comic book clubs, D&D clubs, game nights, and movie nights. greater funding and incentives for community picnics, block parties, cultural cookouts, and cultural awareness programs. A community fruit tree program for any community wishing to grow and share community fruit. Here's our restoration plan for the homeless. Homeless people are not socially inadequate. They are simply people without homes. Our plan for eliminating home insecurity is to bring the services to where the people are, retraining or refocus of existing skills, and creating tiny home and pocket home communities and neighborhoods for more affordable living. We'd start by renovating old office buildings, hotels, malls, foreclosed buildings, and property to create self-sustaining, independent housing for people of any age in need of affordable community living. Using prefab homes like Boxable to create tiny home communities quickly, as each home only takes a few hours to set up. These prefab homes can be linked together for larger families or to function as community restaurants, etc. We'd like to staff these projects by first looking for candidates currently unemployed with applicable skills and interests, hiring them to contribute their time, energy, and know-how in any of the areas of proposed projects mentioned can help ease unemployment and release people from needing social assistance at all, improving standards of living and quality of life. And that's our plan for restoration of family and life services. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, compassionate, and dedicated people really can change the world, for indeed, it is the only thing that ever truly has.